On paper, the result looked simple. Christian Coleman crossed the line first in 9.97 seconds, narrowly defeating Akani Simbine's 9.98 and Akeem Blake's 9.99. 3 men separated by just 0.02 of a second, but beneath those numbers was a race defined by execution, composure, and technical precision. Most viewers saw a close finish. What they missed was how the race was effectively decided long before the athletes reached maximum speed. In this video, we revisit one of the most fascinating sprint races of the 2025 season. The men's 100 meters final at the Wanda Diamond League final.
9.84 twice this year. Akani Simbine having the season of his life. He won the first 5 races of the season in sub-10 before finishing 5th in London. Akeem Blake, who's the reigning Diamond League champion, number 3 Jamaican behind the aforementioned Thompson and Seville. Christian Coleman, world champion way back in 2019, the 60-meter specialist. He'll get out really quickly. Has he got the top end speed though, over 100? And then the 3rd South African, Sean Maswanganyi, part of the Olympic silver relay quartet from Paris last year. Noah Lyles is getting better and better in the 100, no doubt about that. He goes in the 200 later. But what has Simbine got here? But look out for the man in lane 1. He's not going to win any marks for artistic merit with a very, very distinctive style. But he is quick, seriously quick. So Walatza in 1, Hickling 2, Azu in 3 for Great Britain, Bromell, Simbine, Blake, Coleman, and then closest to camera there, Maswanganyi for South Africa. Meeting record, Johan Blake, 9.76 set in 2012. Men's 100. Great start from Azu, also going well is Maswanganyi as well, also on the far side, Walatza with that forward. Oh, he's pulled up, Walatza has gone, coming through is Coleman, Coleman gets it, the 60-meter specialist who starts so well, gets it on the line, I think, in a photo from Blake. Coleman, for me, has got that. We were focusing on the far side, or I was on Walatza, who sadly pulled up. It is Coleman. 9.97 for Christian Coleman. Well, he'll be still disappointed not to make the US team. There is Walatza, who had a difficult lane draw. We'll look at it again in slow motion. Simbine, who after those opening brilliant results at the start of the season just went a little walkabout. He's come back to some good form. Blake, the defending champion from last year, in 3rd. Azu just outside 10 seconds, but that's impressive there from Coleman. And poor old Bayanda Walatza, the teenager, managing to cross the line, but tough.
Well, I was going to say beforehand, and I'll say it now, if Coleman or Bromell win, sadly for them, Diamond League win, Diamond League final win, USA have already taken their 4th spot because Noah Lyles is the defending champion and did not run the 100 meters in the American trials. So Coleman didn't make the top 3. So despite the win here, he cannot be selected because you can't have 2 wild cards. You can't have 2 wild cards. Yep. So Lyles will take his defending champion spot, of course. We're going to see him in the 200 afterwards. So maybe this is just Coleman going, what could have been?
Yeah.
So well done to him, and you know he got out well. He got out really, really well. I know you were looking at.
In elite sprinting, victories are rarely created in the final 10 meters. They're created in the first 30, and this race was a perfect example. Coming into Zurich, several athletes had legitimate claims as title contenders. Simbine had been one of the most consistent sprinters in the world. Akeem Blake had shown explosive form throughout the season. Trayvon Bromell entered the year with world-leading credentials. Yet, when the pressure of a Diamond League final arrived, it was Coleman who produced the cleanest race of the night. The first critical phase was the start. Christian Coleman has built his career around one weapon, acceleration. His reaction and block execution have long been among the best in world sprinting. In Zurich, that advantage immediately became visible. While several athletes were still establishing body angles and force application during the opening strides, Coleman was already generating horizontal momentum. This may sound like a small detail. It wasn't. The opening 10 meters determine how efficiently a sprinter enters the drive phase. A cleaner start means fewer corrections later. Fewer corrections mean better rhythm. Better rhythm means greater velocity preservation. Cause and effect. Everything is connected. And this is where the race quietly changed. As the field approached 20 to 30 meters, Coleman was not dramatically ahead. But he had something more important. Control. Watch elite sprinting closely, and you'll notice that the fastest athletes are often not the ones working the hardest visually. They're the ones wasting the least energy. Coleman's posture remained stable. His arm action stayed compact. His force application appeared direct and efficient. Meanwhile, some of his rivals looked slightly more aggressive in their pursuit. Aggression can create speed, but it can also create tension. And tension is the enemy of sprinting. The difference between relaxed speed and forced speed often determines championship races. At roughly 40 meters, the race entered its transition phase. This is one of the most difficult moments in the entire 100 meters. Athletes must gradually rise from acceleration mechanics into upright sprinting without disrupting rhythm. Rise too quickly and top-end speed suffers. Stay down too long and stride efficiency decreases. Coleman executed this transition exceptionally well. No panic. No unnecessary movement. Just smooth progression into maximum velocity. Most viewers missed what happened here. Akani Simbine was actually matching much of the field speed during this portion of the race. His trademark consistency and technical discipline kept him firmly in contention. But because Coleman had already established superior positioning earlier, Simbine was forced into chase mode rather than control mode. And psychologically, that's a huge difference. Leading a race allows an athlete to stay committed to their own rhythm. Chasing often tempts athletes to press. Pressing creates tension. Tension slows people down. This next sequence was absolutely critical. Between 60 and 80 meters, the field compressed. The margin between first and third became razor thin. This is where many sprinters tighten their shoulders, shorten their stride patterns, or overreach in search of extra speed. Coleman did the opposite. He stayed relaxed. That relaxation allowed him to maintain stride frequency while preserving efficiency. Simbine was closing. Blake was closing. But neither athlete could generate enough momentum to erase the advantage Coleman had built earlier. The mistake looked small, but it changed everything. Because at the elite level, a 1 centimeter technical inefficiency repeated over 40 strides becomes a significant loss. By the final 20 meters, the race was no longer about creating speed. It was about preserving it, and Coleman preserved it better than anyone. He crossed the line in 9.97 seconds. Simbine followed in 9.98. Blake finished in 9.99. 3 athletes under 10 seconds. One of the closest finishes of the Diamond League season. What makes this performance particularly impressive is that it wasn't built on overwhelming dominance. It was built on precision. Coleman didn't separate himself with an extraordinary late race surge. He separated himself through cleaner execution of multiple small details. A slightly sharper start, a smoother transition, better rhythm maintenance, more relaxation under pressure. Individually, each advantage was tiny. Collectively, they produced victory. And that's the deeper lesson from Zurich. Fans often assume the fastest athlete always wins. In reality, elite sprinting is frequently decided by who executes best when the margins become microscopic. At this level, everyone is talented. Everyone is fast. Everyone is prepared. The difference comes from who can remain technically disciplined when the pressure is highest. Christian Coleman did exactly that. And that's why, when the Diamond League season reached its final moment in Zurich, he walked away with the trophy. Not because he was dramatically faster, but because he was slightly better in every phase that mattered. In the end, the difference was not raw speed. It was precision. And at the highest level of sprinting, precision is often the ultimate form of speed. Subscribe to this channel for more interesting updates on track and field events.